President Trump is at it again, folks. He's promising to put money back in Americans' pockets with his new DOGE dividend. Sounds exciting, right? Like a delightful little treat for being a loyal taxpayer. But hold your applause. It's important to understand what this proposal actually entails before we start celebrating. The DOGE dividend is essentially a cash refund, a slice of the savings supposedly achieved by the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. Trump claims this department, established by executive order in 2025, is rooting out government waste and saving billions. The plan is to take a chunk of these savings and send it right back to you, the taxpayer. Now, who doesn't love a good tax refund? It's like finding a $20 bill in your pocket, except this time, it's the government potentially giving you back some of your own money. But, and this is a big but, the DOGE dividend comes with a whole lot of ifs, ands, and buts of its own. And some experts are worried it could do more harm than good. So buckle up, dear citizens, as we delve into the intricacies of the DOGE dividend and try to decipher whether it's a financial windfall or a potential economic pitfall. Now, where did this whole DOGE dividend idea even come from? It wasn't exactly a grassroots movement demanding tax relief based on government efficiency. No, dear viewers, this story involves tech CEOs, Twitter pronouncements, and a healthy dose of political maneuvering. The origins can be traced back to James Fishback, CEO of a company called Azoria, and an associate of former DOGE co-chief Vivek Ramaswamy. Fishback, apparently struck by a bolt of fiscal inspiration, suggested the tax refund idea after DOGE wraps up in 2026. It's like when your friend suggests splitting a dessert, only in this case, the dessert is billions of dollars of taxpayer money. Enter Elon Musk, our favorite Twitter-happy billionaire. Never one to shy away from grand pronouncements, Musk took to social media, championing the idea. And who better to listen to than the guy who once sent a car into space? Musk even discussed the idea with Trump, who, never one to miss an opportunity for a good photo op, promptly announced the DOGE dividend as his own. And there you have it, folks. A policy proposal born from a tech CEO's idea, amplified by a billionaire's tweets, and adopted by a president known for his, shall we say, unconventional approach to governance. Alright, let's talk numbers, people. Because when it comes to potential tax refunds, size definitely matters. So how much of this supposed government efficiency pie could you, the average American, expect to see on your plate? Well, that's where things get a little murky. Initial estimates, based on a projected $2 trillion in DOGE savings, suggested a payout of around $5,000 per tax-paying household. Sounds pretty sweet, right? A nice little vacation fund, maybe pay off some debt, or perhaps just blow it all on commemorative Trump NFTs. But hold your horses, folks. Those rosy projections were quickly met with a healthy dose of reality. More conservative estimates based on current claimed DOGE savings ranging from a paltry $8.6 billion to a somewhat more respectable $55 billion, paint a far less extravagant picture. We're talking checks ranging from a measly $21.50 to a still underwhelming $137.50 per household. Even Elon Musk's revised, and let's be honest, probably still optimistic estimate of $1 trillion in savings would only yield a payout of $2,500 per household, a far cry from the $5,000 initially touted. So, before you start planning that trip to Disneyland, remember, the actual size of your DOGE dividend remains a big fat question mark. Now let's address the elephant in the room, or rather the economic buzzkill lurking behind this seemingly generous proposal: inflation. Remember those COVID-19 stimulus checks? The ones that were supposed to be a lifeline during a crisis but ended up contributing to the highest inflation rates in decades? Yeah, economists are a little worried about a repeat performance. See, injecting billions of dollars back into the economy, even if it's framed as giving people back their money, can lead to a surge in demand for goods and services, and when demand outstrips supply, well, prices tend to go up. It's basic economics, folks, and it's something the Federal Reserve, tasked with keeping inflation in check, is understandably concerned about. Proponents of the DOGE dividend argue that it's different this time. This isn't deficit spending, they say, it's money saved through government efficiency. But critics, like those killjoy economists over at the Heritage Foundation and Georgetown University, argue that the source of the money doesn't really matter. It's still a massive influx of cash that could send prices soaring. So, is the DOGE dividend a recipe for economic disaster, or a harmless way to give taxpayers a break? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, the inflation debate is far from over. Section 5. Navigating a complex economic landscape: debt, inflation, and uncertainty. Let's take a step back for a moment and consider the broader economic backdrop against which the DOGE dividend is being proposed. It's not exactly a pretty picture, folks. The U.S. national debt is pushing $36 trillion. Inflation, while lower than its 2022 peak, is still a concern. And global economic uncertainty, fueled by geopolitical tensions and ongoing supply chain disruptions, persists. It's like trying to navigate a minefield while blindfolded and riding a unicycle. Not ideal, to say the least. And into this already precarious environment, President Trump wants to inject billions of dollars, potentially further stimulating an economy already grappling with inflationary pressures. Now, I'm no economist, but even I can see that this is a risky proposition. It's like giving a sugar rush to a kid who's already bouncing off the walls. Sure, it might seem fun in the short term, but the long-term consequences could be messy. Section 6. A chorus of opinions experts weigh in on the DOGE dividend. Unsurprisingly, the DOGE dividend has ignited a firestorm of debate among economists, policymakers, and political pundits. It's like a financial version of those cable news shouting matches, with everyone vying for their moment to opine on the potential benefits and pitfalls. On one side, you have the proponents, those who believe the DOGE dividend is a stroke of economic genius. They argue that returning money to taxpayers will boost consumer spending, stimulate economic growth, and provide much-needed relief to struggling families. They point to the supposed billions saved by DOGE as evidence that the government can in fact be efficient, and that this dividend is simply the fruits of that efficiency being shared with the people. On the other side, you have the skeptics, those who view the DOGE dividend with a healthy dose of caution, if not outright alarm. They warn of the potential inflationary impacts, arguing that injecting billions into the economy could send prices soaring and erode the purchasing power of the very people the dividend is supposed to help. They also question the validity of the claimed DOGE savings, suggesting that the actual amount may be far less than advertised. And then, of course, you have the political opportunists, those who see the DOGE dividend as a way to score political points, regardless of its actual economic merits. For them, it's all about appealing to voters, even if it means potentially jeopardizing the long-term health of the economy. It's a cynical view perhaps, but one that's all too familiar in the realm of modern politics. Section 7. Political football: the DOGE dividend in the 2026 election cycle. Let's be honest, folks, the timing of the DOGE dividend is about as subtle as a Trump tweet storm. With the 2026 midterm elections looming, it's clear that this proposal is as much about politics as it is about economics. Trump, never one to miss an opportunity to bash his opponents, has been quick to blame the Biden administration for the current economic woes, despite the fact that he's no longer in office. And what better way to contrast himself with the current administration than by promising to put money back in the pockets of hard-working Americans? The DOGE dividend has become a rallying cry for Trump and his supporters, a symbol of his commitment to fiscal responsibility and putting the American people first. It plays perfectly into his populist message, painting him as the champion of the little guy, fighting against the big bad government bureaucracy. Of course, Democrats have been quick to denounce the proposal as a reckless giveaway to the wealthy, arguing that it will do little to address the root causes of economic inequality. They point to the potential inflationary impacts and the lack of clarity surrounding the DOGE savings as evidence that this is nothing more than a political stunt designed to boost Trump's chances in 2026. So, buckle up, America, because the DOGE dividend is about to become a major battleground in the upcoming election cycle. Expect to hear a lot more about it in the coming months, as both sides use it to bludgeon each other in their quest for political power. Section 8. The unpredictable future: uncertainties and potential outcomes. So what does the future hold for the DOGE dividend? Will it be a much-needed boost to the economy or a recipe for economic disaster? Honestly, folks, it's anyone's guess. There are simply too many variables at play, too many unknowns to make any definitive predictions. The actual amount of savings achieved by DOGE, the trajectory of inflation, the response of the Federal Reserve, the outcome of the 2026 elections, all of these factors, and more, will play a role in determining the ultimate fate of the DOGE dividend. It's like trying to predict the weather in a hurricane. You know it's going to be messy, but you can't say for sure what direction the storm will take or how much damage it will cause. All you can do is batten down the hatches and hope for the best. Section 9. Conclusion: the DOGE dividend. A gamble on America's future? The DOGE dividend is a gamble, plain and simple. It's a bet that the claimed government savings are real, that the inflationary risks are manageable, and that the potential economic benefits outweigh the potential downsides. It's a gamble on the future of the American economy, and one that could have profound consequences for us all. Whether this gamble pays off remains to be seen. Only time will tell if the DOGE dividend is remembered as a stroke of economic brilliance or a cautionary tale of political opportunism and unintended consequences. Until then, all we can do is stay informed, engage in thoughtful debate, and hope that our leaders for once prioritize the long-term well-being of the nation over short-term political gain.